According to information fathered by journalist Hervé Muller, one of the dealers on the scene in the summer of 1971 was a Chinese called Le Chinois. Supposedly, he had a laboratory for making heroin in Marseille, which explains why he happened to have such an unusually potent heroin to sell, running to about 30% pure as opposed to the customary 5 to 10%. Now, the way the story goes, Le Chinois, who was not known to use heroin himself, sold a quantity to a second-level dealer named Michel, who in turn sold a smaller quantity to someone called the Petit Bernard, charging him $100. Bernard then sold that packet to Jim for about $200, warning him of the potency. "That's okay," Jim Morrison reportedly said. "I'm used to it." Now, all sources say Jim seemed to be nervous, upset. All sources also told Hervé Muller that the final transaction took place in the men's bathroom of the rock and roll circus, where Jim snorted the heroin and slumped into a comatose state. The junkies present heaved him onto his feet between them, then through the adjoining kitchens to the Alcazar and into a cab on the street. At this point, it is generally agreed that Jim was still alive. This is reasonable. In most heroin overdoses, the victim generally dies after 1 or 2 hours of lethargy, stupor, and coma. The way this story ends, Jim was returned to his flat and dumped into a bathtub full of cold water in an attempt to revive him, standard treatment for an overdose, although there is some question about its practicality. That was one version of how Jim died. Of course, it wasn't the only one. In a second, far more innocent story, outlined in a statement given to Paris police the day Jim died, and thereafter described as the official version of the death, Pamela said that she and Jim returned to their flat from the movie theater at about 1 a.m., and that Jim died from heart complications while taking a bath.